Do you guys know what happened just before the Great Depression? Well, it's a funny story because this guy, President Herbert Hoover, he actually signed this huge tariff bill into law. It's called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act into law in June 1930. And he did this because in the 1920s, there was a smaller depression, and it caused a huge contraction of the American economy, especially in agriculture, right? Which in the 1920s, huge backbone of the American economy. So Hoover signed a big sweeping tariff act, and the point of this tariff act was to raise tariffs on all the other countries so America could keep their jobs and keep money for Americans. But how did that work out? It resulted in a contraction of international trade and a worsening of the economy because Canada, France, and all the other big countries that America was trading with at that time, they retaliated. But that's not all he did, right? Because after he signed that tariff act into law and all the prices on everything started going up for American consumers, and American consumers in the 1930s couldn't afford anything and the Great Depression was looming, Herbert Hoover said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get all the Mexicans out. Yeah, he started a Mexican repatriation to get the illegals out, to protect jobs for Americans. Didn't work either, because 40 to 60% of those Mexicans that Hoover had deported in the 1930s, they were Americans. They were American citizens. And then a bunch of people who were adding to the economy saw that and went, yeah, we're just going to leave. This is not a good place to be. And all of this was a part of the Great Depression. It's a part of why America sank into the Great Depression, because Hoover was an isolationist. He was all about the gold standard. He was all about America for America. We're not going to get involved in the world's problems. And so the economy collapsed. It's all right there. This is history. This is like 10th grade history. He also decided that, oh my God, Americans are suffering. You know what's going to solve this? Let's give all the money to the banks and the big corporations who my buddies run, because Hoover was actually friends with all the new money billionaires and millionaires that were in there, and he gave them all the jobs and all the relief and all the money. And then all the rest of the Americans who weren't these millionaires and billionaires, guess what happened to him? And what's even funny is he had this whole thing about not wanting America to be a welfare state. People couldn't be on the dole. He couldn't help the starving Americans, like, you know, in the Grapes of Wrath, the families that were starving to death in ditches, because he said, that's going to weaken the country. We can't help people. Well, we can help my buddies, the bankers and the railroad owners, but not the common person. And let's not even talk about the stock speculation that led into. But yeah, Herbert Hoover, he did all this before, and it had disastrous consequences for America, the American people, and the American economy. Most of you actually probably know him from the word Hoovervilles, which were big giant slums, which kind of are all over America at the moment, aren't they? Weird. It's like we've done this before. So if we've done this before and the results were disastrous for all of us, why are they doing it again? Dunno.